fans? This is Kirk DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some more news concerning Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Get this. Jarrell Miller slams Wilder's comeback. He said he looked like a bag of wet dog, S-H-I to the T. Eyes a Wilder fight after Anderson. Miller didn't hold anything back, saying that he looks like a bag of you-know-what in his recent comeback, but Miller isn't just talking. He's got his eyes set on Wilder after he gets past Jared Anderson with the boxing glove and the double eye emoji. And let me counterpunch. I think that there should be a perfect combination between shit talking and getting it on. You know, Jarrell Miller showed us how you don't have to necessarily be the number one. You don't have to necessarily be the best fighter to get an opportunity. Self-promotion is very important. You know, I just finished a video about Caballo, you know, about Jaya Pataya. Jaya Pataya is at least showing interest based on posts and things that he wants versus other guys like Aget Caballo. He's not really into that. He just does his job and then goes back into hiding. You need to do more than that, like Jarrell Miller's doing. And Jarrell Miller, you know, if he does beat Anderson, I mean, he has taken away, and that I think that totally knocks out Anderson for a very long while. Okay, because Anderson's still young. He's still like, what, 24, 25 years of age, and he just had a baby. So I think, you know, if he gets beat by Jarrell Miller will go on to fight whoever Jarrell's going to fight. And I think at that point, when Wilder gets another fight as well, I think those guys should come together and fight. And I think then the winner of those guys between Jarrell Miller and Deontay Wilder should, you know, they should bang it out to fight AJ. And I think Eddie Hearn and I feel Eddie should give them an opportunity, whoever, because those were the choices. You had Anderson, you had Wilder, you had Miller, right? So if you had these guys and Jarrell takes out both of them, he takes out 2 or 3 of the people that you plan to fight, that's exactly who you should fight. Because basically Jarrell Miller has done your work for you. You know, he's taken your lightweight away from you by beating them both. So if that's the case, it should be Jarrell Miller versus Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? For some M's. And I think Turkey Al-Sheikh would be behind that, because once Jarrell Miller has deemed, because a lot of people think, including myself, I think he did enough to beat Andy Ruiz. Even though Andy Ruiz, he had that jacked up injury, man. Shout out to his hand, man. That hand was broke. So nonetheless, I think he did enough to out-hustle Andy, you know, and it was a good fight. Nice little scrap. It was a nice banger experience between the two guys, because they did rough each other up pretty much. And I do think, you know, if you add Anderson, then add Wilder, so you've beat Andy Ruiz, Jared Anderson, and Deontay Wilder, and you add those to your list, yeah, your list will look very good. You add that with Lucas Brown on top of Danny Dubois. Hopefully you might be able to get if Dubois, depends on what he does this weekend, you can get an opportunity with him once again. You know, not before I feel other fighters should. However, I would always like to see a rematch between Jarrell Miller and Danny Dubois, where Jarrell Miller was much more in shape now. You know what I mean? He's in better shape than he once was a couple years back. You know, but no, Jarrell Miller, I think these fights should happen. I think he should, whatever he did in training last time, don't do this time to get yourself injured or whatever, hurt in training. Take it easy, right? But yeah, I like the idea of it. Did Wilder look like dog, S-H-I-T? I can't really say that. I can say he didn't look well, but I'm not going to go as far as do that to him, because remember, he's been out of the ring for a while. I mean, a very long while. So I think he needs to get everything back and show us that he can improve. You know, and he did throw and hook off the jab and a lot of things that we haven't seen him do probably ever. But you guys tell me what you think of Jarrell Big Baby Miller blasting Wilder's latest performance, but then calling him out after he defeats Jared Anderson. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.